It's showtime. No intro today, ladies and gentlemen, because we feel like we don't need one, honestly. Today, we'll be just discussing 4 points of topics. It's the TFS Takeover for the first time in a live video. First off, I'll ask Davos and Faraz. We'll start off with Davos. How are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, Noah. It's been a while since we've done a vid, but no, it's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Absolutely. And Faraz, what about yourself?
Yeah, good mate. Obviously, that report tonight. Obviously, we're busy having a job interview for the security body. So yeah, it's got how was the second one?
Just a word of warning for us. We can't actually hear you fully. You're very quiet. So if you could possibly maybe just try leaving and rejoining back, and we'll try adding you back. All good. But for now, we'll talk about Denver Nuggets. 2023 champions. Davos, their first championship, the Denver Nuggets. How good was it for them to finally win an NBA championship? Obviously, you got to feel for the Heat and Jimmy Butler, but Nikola Jokic, what a freak he is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I wanted the Heat to win because I don't particularly like the Nuggets. But look, full credit to the Nuggets. They played absolutely outstanding throughout the whole series. Shout out to Nikola Jokic. He's the best center in the league, and he showed what an absolute star he is. Averaging a triple double in the final series is an absolute freak for a center. Look, shout out to the Heat. You know, Jimmy Butler. Look, I was sad to see him not win a chip, but he was outstanding throughout the whole series. Jamal Murray also deserves a lot of credit for Denver. I thought he was really instrumental with what they did. But yeah, congratulations to the Nuggets and well deserved.
Absolutely. And as for Faraz, he's just joined back. I want to just quickly say, I do believe, for me personally, Jamal Murray, that series proved he's possibly a top 50 player in the NBA when fully on, maybe even top 25 around there. Do you boys agree with that sort of statement that Jamal Murray, when he's at his best, can match it with a lot of the great point guards and shooting guards in the NBA? Would you agree with that? Faraz, we'll go to you first.
I think that series was just a show, with like his reflexes and everything. I think if he does stay consistent on his day, he's top 5 for sure.
Absolutely. And Davos, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely think that Jamal Murray, when he is on, he's really that kind of Robin to Nikola Jokic. He just can shoot a three from any spot in the arc, and yeah, he's a really, really good player.
Absolutely. Even his ability to drive to the rim and take contact, finish off the shot, absolutely freakish. I think Nuggets, and they've got a pretty young team as well. I think I saw a stat up on it might have been the NBA's page, but I think it was talking about how the Nuggets, Jokic is 28. I think might be Jamal Murray, who's only 27 or something. Michael Porter Jr. is only 24, and Aaron Gordon was 27, and then Jamal Murray's like 25 or 26. They've got a young team. Do you see them competing for more rings, obviously more championships in the future? Davos, we'll go to you first.
I can easily see them competing. They're one of the best teams in the West, and look, they'll have to contend with the likes of the Warriors and the Kings. But yeah, look, they still did really well. And they deserved the chip. There's a reason why they were in the championship. They're not just there because of a fluke. They're there because they're one of the better teams in the NBA, and I can easily see them win another chip in the next 5 years.
Absolutely. Now, Faraz, what about you?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with what David just touched up. I think, especially in that West Conference, you got the teams of like Golden State Warriors and all that. I think if they do stay consistent, if they can keep the young Bucks, I think in the foreseeable future, they're definitely contenders.
Definitely. And Davos, I agree with you. Sacramento, they've got a bright future as well in that Western Conference.
For sure.
De'Aaron Fox, is it Malik Monk?
Yeah, Malik Monk, Sabonis.
They've got more players.
Keegan Murray.
Kevin Huerter is also promising young shooting guard. So I think a lot of the Western Conference teams, because I've been used to seeing the Eastern Conference teams sort of dominate. So, but even your 76ers are on the way up, Davis. I mean, Tyrese Maxey's going to be a great talent eventually when he settles in. James Harden isn't really looking like he's cooling down anytime soon. He's still playing well. Joel Embiid, the MVP. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. And one last question before we move on to the next topic. Do you think it's fair to say that after that series, Nikola Jokic is currently the best player in the game, based on form at the moment? Faraz, we'll start with you first.
If we're going off form, yes.
Absolutely. And Davos?
Without a doubt. Look, I'll cop it because I used to say that Embiid was better than Jokic, but look, Jokic is just such an amazing player. There's not much to say. Stats literally speak for themselves. So yeah, he's the best center and the best player in the league right now.
Absolutely. So Denver Nuggets fans, enjoy that win. And I mean, it was very well deserved. I think it was Nuggets in 5. And even the one game Miami did actually win was probably one that sort of just slipped away from the Nuggets in the end. So, no, very good win. But congratulations to the Miami Heat in such a great season. No one really saw it coming when they finished 8th.
They came from 8th seed in the Eastern Conference to make it. That's a big achievement in itself.
It's sort of like the Brisbane Heat. They were dead last for a while, then they came up to play finals.
I would say it was like sort of accomplished more than the Brisbane Heat, definitely, for me. Even though I love the Brisbane Heat, like coming from 8th seed to win that. I mean, there was a lot of there's a lot of bumpy roads. I mean, they nearly lost to the Celtics, even though they were 3 up in this 3-0 in the series. I mean, against the Knicks, they looked awesome. Against the Bucks, obviously, they looked awesome. Jimmy Butler played really well for majority of the games, and if he won, he probably would. If Heat won, he probably would have been Finals MVP. Bam Adebayo had a great game. Great year this year. Is it Caleb Martin? He had a great game. Great year as well. Good. He absolutely clutched up in some games. So, Miami Heat fans, hold your head up high, and I'm sure in a couple of years' time, your roster is still pretty young. You'll be able to get a couple chips sometime soon. Next, lads, we'll move on to. I think we're going to save the Ben Hunt. We might save that for just before the Origin Game 2 thoughts, because I know that one's going to take a little while because we're all going to be talking on about that. The Ashes reactions, boys. So day 3 has finished. I'll quickly pull up the score on my screen. But before I do, I want to ask you each a very simple question. Faraz, we'll start with you. Who do you have on top currently so far in the Ashes?
Mate, it's honestly so hard to dictate. After the first 3 days, I generally don't know where this test match is heading to, mate. Obviously, England, they looked a bit in control in day 1 with a partnership. Then Australia struck a few wickets. Then they built a partnership through Root and Bairstow. Then it suddenly looked like it was England's game to lose. And then the declaration came out suddenly. That must have shocked you boys equally on day 1. Australia coming to bat. They were in a bit of trouble themselves. Lost Warner, lost Marnus, lost Smith. And you were sort of thinking Australia on a sinking ship here. Then Usman Khawaja came in one of the best knocks he's played in his test career. It was a knock that needed to be safe for the Ashes. You know, you got Broad, Anderson firing on all cylinders. Uzi just comes in with that knock. I think that's his first victory in English conditions in the Ashes. So, and full credit to Alex Carey for supporting him. Green chipped in with 38. Head made it 50, but gave his wicket away. But look, I generally don't know who was on top. I'll probably say Australia because of those 2 late wickets. But, man, it just takes one session up, and England could right well be in this game.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Davos, what about you? Who do you have on top at the moment?
Yeah, this is a really tough one because look, I was very, very surprised when England declared it 393. I thought it was a bit cocky, to be honest, because
Can I just note one thing as well before I forget? If England didn't declare and if they got 30, 40 more runs, I think they would have won the test, to be honest. I think having that 30, 40 run margin lead is so vital in a test match like this. It's a fine margin.
Yeah, look, shout out to Joe Root and Usman Khawaja. I think they've been the 2 best batsmen in this test match. Root with his 118 and Khawaja with his 141. Yeah, look, I think Australia are on top. Simply because they took the 2 wickets of Crawley and Duckett late in the day. Look, for me, if England want to draw or win this Test match, it all comes down to Joe Root, and for Australia, it comes down to the bowlers. Like we need Stark, Hazelwood. Sorry, not Hazelwood. Sorry, Boland, Lyon to take wickets early.
Stark's not playing.
Oh, sorry, not Stark. I was meant to say Boland, Lyon, and Cummins. Sorry. But yeah, we need them to take wickets, so then lays a platform for our batsmen.
Hazelwood as well, yeah. It's great seeing Hazelwood back. Honestly, it's been a little while. But if you'd asked me yesterday before, obviously I was asleep and Australia got the wickets. I absolutely passed out. But I think if you asked me yesterday, if I saw that that it was like obviously England 393, we only got to 386. If it was 28 for nothing, or I would say England on top. The 2 wickets that Australia have gotten, that of Crawley and Ben Duckett, big wickets. Now we need to focus on Joe Root. But I'd say Australia on top at the moment, and only because England, yes, they did hold a lead going into the second innings, but it was only 7 runs, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I agree with you, Davos. I think the declaration by England did seem a bit cocky. I mean, they had a batsman in fully set in Joe Root, who was on 118 off 152 balls. He had 4 sixes and 7 fours to his name, which you don't really see very often in Test match cricket, the 4 sixes. But yeah, I think it did seem like a very cocky play.
But even Ollie Robinson was smacking it. He had 70 not out. As a Tonda, he was doing really well to support Joe.
Exactly. He was doing well. And obviously, yes, they were 8 wickets down, so they still had like if Ollie Robinson got out, yes, that means James Anderson would have to come in, and we know that he's not very handy with the bat. But why wouldn't you just keep letting Ollie Robinson and Joe Root continue with the bat, and then whenever one of them gets out, then you declare, because you don't want James Anderson just coming in pretty much taking time to come in for like 1 ball or 1 or 2 balls. I don't get it.
Either.
I feel like England, I reckon if those two did keep batting, I agree with what Faraz said earlier. I reckon they probably could have put another 30, 40 runs on, and then we could have been talking about England having
I think
70-run lead at the moment.
I think aside from the declaration, I think Stokes as a captain has been doing a fantastic job. I think just except for the declaration, I think he's been doing a great job. But that declaration could have come back to haunt them this Test match.
Yeah, it really could. I'm not sure. Hopefully, it does come back and haunt them.
Do we think Warner gets a spot in the next game? If he fails in the next innings, he's obviously got still 1 more innings. Like, it just looks like Brett has his number every time at this point. It's not even funny.
I'd say we give Warner the benefit of the doubt.
Although, to be fair with Warner, that was a pretty shit shot that he did play. So it wasn't like he bowled by good deliveries. Like, he just played a really
But who would we even put in, though, is the question. Like, Davis, I know you're not really a fan of Renshaw, but would you put him in?
I mean, I'd rather Renshaw over Marcus Harris, that's for sure.
100%.
Without a doubt, Renshaw. I mean, but no, I'd still back Warner, and he's a senior player. And
Absolutely. But yeah, as far as the Ashes goes, I'm looking forward to seeing day 4 tonight. I'm probably going to watch. What time does it start? 8. I'll probably watch 2 or 3 hours of it. Hopefully the Aussies. I think if the Aussies can pick up 2 wickets in that first session of today, 2 or 3 wickets in the first session, I reckon Aussie should win.
FYI as well, the first session has been extended by 20, 30 more minutes because we lost overs due to rain tomorrow. So, yeah, it's more quick.
Absolutely. Awesome. You love to hear it. It's sad to see because yesterday I was watching. It was only early that the Australians got fully bowled out. I think it was like 9 or 10. Then we only got to see a little bit of England batting, and pretty much after the rain finished, by the time they came back.
Do you boys think Australia realistically should have taken the lead? Do you guys feel like they were a bit disappointing with the collapse towards the end?
Not really, to be honest.
We have a very bad tail end.
I thought we actually did pretty well to get to like 386, to be honest.
No, 100%, considering we were 60 for 3. But do you think towards the end we were like cruising? Uzi was still there. We trailed by 17 runs. Even when Uzi got out, we still should have realistically at least taken a 10-15 run lead. Do you feel like we've our downside there, or do you think we're still in a good position, Davos?
I think, well, right now, I think we're in a pretty good position. Just got to take wickets. That's all we got to do. And then just let our batters chase it down.
Definitely. I think if, for instance, if you told me a couple of days ago, look, England take a nearly 400 run, 400 runs in the first innings, then they declare, and then Australia, Warner comes out, gets 9, Marnus comes out, gets bowled for a golden duck, and then Steve Smith comes out and gets 16. I'm thinking we're down by like 200. I'm thinking we're down by 250. But I think the innings that stood out for me, Usman Khawaja, obviously. Alex Carey did a great job to get a 66. 100%. Pat Cummins did a great job to come in and just knock 38 runs to his name. I think Travis Head did a good job getting to 50. Cameron Green was, I feel, just his 38 was all right, but I feel like we needed a little more from him.
He should have made more with his drop catches. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I mean, Nathan Lyon, even though obviously we know he's not a batsman, Nathan Lyon one was pretty disappointing. We know he can usually get those 15, 20 runs.
100%. Also, question, while we're at the Ashes, what do you think about Ollie Robinson and the send-off? Obviously, that's been a hot topic lately. What do you think of that?
Yes, it has. Well, you only asked me this morning. This morning you sent it. I didn't actually see much wrong with it. And then I saw one of the comments say that he actually apparently told Usman Khawaja to fucking fuck off, you prick, or something like that.
Yeah.
Uncalled for. Stupid. Right. I hope Usman Khawaja scores 300 in the next innings.
What about you, Davis?
I think it was a little over the top, to be honest. Look, I get it's passionate. England and Australia absolutely hate each other's guts, but Khawaja just made 141. If he had got him for a duck, I would have probably said fair enough. We got him out for a duck, but like, the bloke made 141. Like, you didn't get him out for a golden duck, mate. But like, I do understand that they are passionate, and it's in the heat of the moment. So yeah, but I just think it was a bit over the top, to be honest.
Absolutely. And I'll ask one more question before we move on to the next topic. Sorry, one sec. Let me go back to the screen. So England in the first innings, 393 declared with 8 wickets. With 2 wickets obviously left in hand. What do you boys see England getting in this innings, the second innings, and who do you see winning from here? Davis, we'll start off with you.
Okay, I think if Australia want to win, that we need to restrict England to under probably 300. Would probably be possibly even 250. That'd be like the perfect scenario. But we need to take early wickets. And yeah, like you said, if it was probably 28 for 2, I probably would have said England would probably be on top. But those 2 wickets really helped us. But yeah, to be honest, I do honestly see Australia winning this. I think our bowling attack is too good for their batting lineup. So yeah.
Absolutely. And Faraz, what about you?
I'm going to spoil the party. I think England will take the win here. I don't know, man. I'm just not getting this. I'm not. I don't know, man. I feel like Joe Root will have a blind of innings. I reckon him and Pope will start fresh. I think Root will score runs. I think Stokes will get some runs as well. I think England will set up a target of 290, and I think Australia will be bowled out for 230, losing by 60 runs. If Australia can win this test, it'll be huge. But I feel like England will probably should get a partnership here. There, I think Cummins with his field, and you boys can agree with the way Cummins has been setting the fields. He's been too defensively, and those first 28 runs, those were soft as, man.
Yeah.
Damn. For us, speaking the truth, I guess. For me personally, always got to back your team. I think we bowl England out. I'm going to go specific here. I'm going to go England bowled out for 227.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go
target of 235.
Yeah, and I'm going to go the Aussies to win. Pretty simply.
But how many wickets?
5 wickets in hand.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, lads, this one I've been looking forward to talking about. Ben Hunt has requested a release from the Dragons. He's willing to pay 150K to leave the Dragons early. 150K of his own money. Just what are your thoughts on this, boys? And where do you think he ends up? We'll start off with you, Davos.
Yeah, look, to be honest, this doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. Look, Ben Hunt's, we all know how good of a player he is. He's done a lot for the Dragons, and I believe that he doesn't feel like he's getting the same support back from the board, and they didn't even show up to his 300th dinner. He was one of the only players to show up to the awards night last year, and I think only 2 other players showed up, and none of the CEO or the board showed up. So that just shows how much Ben Hunt actually cared about the Dragons. And then I feel like
wait. So you're saying that the boys didn't turn up for his 300 game dinner?
No, they did not.
Oh, no.
So I feel like the Dragons have treated Ben Hunt pretty crap, to be honest, and I find that really disgusting. Despite because he's their best player, he gives so much to the club. And I'm really not surprised. And to be honest with Ben Hunt, I want him to leave. I want him to leave and find a better club because he deserves a premiership. He's done a lot for the Maroons, as you boys probably know. He's done a lot for Australia, and he deserves a premiership.
Absolutely. And you know where he should go to get one?
The Broncos.
Fraz, what about you, mate?
Oh, man, this is such a tough... Imagine being the Dragons, man, and having this chat with Ben Hunt. Like, he's made this publicly. He's not even with the Dragons at the moment. He's in Origin camp at the moment, boys. Like, don't you think it would be so cool when he comes back to training, whether he plays or not this Friday, like his first game back at home? I don't know what the crowd are going to do, but I think it's going to be nasty. It's such a messy situation, honestly. And if the Dragons are fair dinkum, you have to probably release him. I know he's their best player and whatnot, but if a bloke's willing to pay 150K, and this is not any player we're talking about. We're talking about the Maroons number 9. We're talking about the Australian contender number 7. If this is Ben Hunt we're talking about, and he wants 150K to get out of there, you probably have to let him go. Like the system's not showing any support. And I didn't even know what Davis said until Davis said this, that they didn't attend his 300 dinner meal. I think that's pretty selfish from the boys. Doesn't show love for a player that does care about the club. Obviously, he was the only one out of 3 people to attend that meeting as well last year. So look, it's such a tricky situation. I honestly don't know. I do think Ben Hunt should have made this public before with the Dragons instead of having an Origin camp. But at the same time, it's still disrespectful from Ben Hunt. But at the same time, it is the Dragons. So yeah, I do hope he does go to a better club. And I think even you boys can agree. I think even the Titans would be a better suit for him than the Dragons at the moment.
Definitely. As for me, I think honestly, I feel like he needs a new club. Like you boys have said, it doesn't seem like the Dragons have treated him too well in his time there, and he's been one of their best players. I'm very biased with this, but I hope I don't think he'll end up at the Broncos, but I hope he does. I truly hope he does. I hope he comes back to the Broncos and plays 9.
So where do you guys think he'll end up at least next season? Like, who do you think his future club would be?
I think he's going to go to the Dolphins.
That's
I think Dolphins just that.
If I'm the Titans, or if I'm even someone like the Cowboys, or he's a smoky, the Roosters. If I'm the Roosters, I just want to get Ben Hunt.
I hope Roosters don't get him.
I hope not. I don't get me wrong. I don't like the Roosters at all. But
for me, his top 5 landing spots in order, mainly because he wants to move back to Queensland, would be Dolphins, Titans. Then I'd have Broncos. Then I'd probably go. I'm not going to say Cowboys because apparently the Cowboys have said they're trusting in Chad. They're not going to release Chad. I don't see him playing 9 there because Robson.
And they've already got Reece Robson.
Yeah, so Dolphins, Titans, Broncos, and then I've got Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, because if he does stay in New South Wales, he'll go to Bulldogs because they need a halfback. And last but not least, I'd probably say he might even head off to. I'm not even too sure. Tigers would probably be the 5th.
Tigers, yeah.
The Raiders might be a good place for him. The Raiders.
Everyone's saying that. I think Jamal Fogarty's got that halfback spot.
I don't think Ben Hunt suits Canberra. I don't know how his career would progress there. I'm not saying he doesn't make them better, but I don't know how Ben Hunt would work in Canberra. You know what I mean?
I know Whiten's leaving and there's a spot in the halves opening up, but for me that's
they still got Brad Schneider, right?
Yeah. Well, that's Brad. They've even got Matt Frawley if they want to throw him in there. So I've got Brad Schneider and Jamal Fogarty as the halves next season.
I'm just saying this, like whichever club Ben Hunt goes to, he's going to make them dramatically better. And I'm saying this right now. If he goes to the Tigers, I think they'll be top 6. If he goes to the Bulldogs, they'll be top 6 in my opinion. Like both those clubs are missing that experience half. If he goes to any of them, even the Broncos, if he comes for this season, imagine like this team's already continuing for the premiership. Imagine he joins this Broncos suit with Man Reynolds. Whoever gets him, wow.
Do you lads think that if Ben Hunt did went to the Bulldogs, we would see like the full package of Matt Burton? I think we would.
100%. You get Burton at 6, you get Hunt at 7. He's running the show. Burton can put his bombs. He can do his running game. Then you can even unlock Reed Marnie with that attacking flair, you know. And then when you get a full strength team on pack, you know you got kick out there. You still got, and then you got Crichton there. If you Crichton can fit at center, because I don't think he's a good fullback. If you can maybe move Avrilo to fullback, if he stays, you got Crichton there. This team on paper, they have to make the top 8. If they don't make the top 8 with that team, I don't know what's wrong with making.
And I know he's not going to go to this team, but if I'm this team, I'd be throwing the absolute checkbook at Ben Hunt, the West Tigers. I know he's not going to go there, but I'd be doing anything.
I'm not sure. I feel like
to be fair, it does make sense that Luke Brooks is now gone, and then you do need 7 next year. But
yeah, I don't think the thing is, I don't think he'll want to go there because he wants to be part of a premiership contending team, which is why, as much as I think the Bulldogs would be the best landing spot for him, like sort of job wise, because he wants to play halfback and such. I think he won't go there because he doesn't see them as premiership contenders, and which is why I don't think he'll go to Titans either. I think his top 2 premiership contending teams he sees he could play at back in Queensland would be Broncos and Dolphins, because Dolphins, they're looking good this year and they've been playing with a pretty injured squad most of the year. If I'm Ben Hunt, I'm going back to the Broncos to play 9, but I reckon he'll head to the Dolphins. I swear though, if I get a fucking notification from the Brisbane Broncos saying that Ben Hunt signed, oh my goodness, I'm gonna cry.
Can you? But in all seriousness, imagine if he does come to the Broncos this year and he wins the premiership. What a redemption story for Ben Hunt at the Bronx.
I was talking about that in a chat. Me and Dave were part of it, and I was saying to this Raiders fan was saying it would be a good redemption for him. I was saying, imagine he kicks the game-winning field goal.
That's the
type I've screenshots of that. So if that happens.
That's the type of shit you script for a movie. That's when you leave for that blockbuster ending, you know, that twist. But look, if whichever club he does go to, I will support, except the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Now, do we have any more to talk about Ben Hunt, or are you ready to move on to the last topic?
I think we've really unpacked that, I reckon.
But honestly, though, do you think Ben Hunt's still at fault though for doing this during the Origin period and demanding this now, or do you think he has a point?
He has a point.
I think it's probably the fact that he's actually around good teammates that's made him realize he probably should get out of there. Honestly, I hope. But if I'm Paddy Carrigan, if I'm Reece Walsh, if I'm Thomas Flegler,
get into it.
Who's the other player we have in Queensland Maroon squad? I'm sorry.
Cobbo.
Well, yeah, Cobbo. Oh, yeah, Cobbo's usually there. He's out. Okay, yeah, we only have 3 this time. I'm in his ear. I'm saying, mate.
No, but
we're currently first place. Imagine how much better we would be with you at 9.
No, but even think about it, boys. Like imagine from the Broncos perspective now. Like imagine if Reynolds does go down with an injury, you can put Hunt at 7, literally, exactly. And then you can deal with like Walters or Pex at 9 for one game. Imagine that.
Exactly, and that's why, because Ben Hunt said before he doesn't like playing 9, but he likes winning, and if he comes to the Broncos, he will win games. I'm not saying he'll win a premiership because I've even said I don't think Broncos are yet at the stage to be called like premiership contenders. I think we still got to prove that we can win the big games without some key players.
I'll say they're contenders, but like you said, mate, like we still have to see how this team goes in finals because they haven't been there for a while.
Finals is a different gravy.
So would you say just for a quick question, like for fun, like who do you think is a better halfback, Renault or Hunt?
Reynolds.
Reynolds. Hunt's very close though.
It's tough. I reckon Hunt's a better playmaker. I think Reynolds is a better halfback. I think in
a team combination, you'd probably go Reynolds.
Well, see, it is really tough. I take back what I said. I think Reynolds is a better playmaker and kicker as well. But I feel like Reynolds has better vision. Hunt is better at some things. Hunt has a much better running game.
If you want to include that.
I think Reynolds has a better passing game and kicking game, I think.
Hunt probably has the
Hunt
better
engages
bomb.
the line.
Reynolds probably has the better short kicking game for sure.
Well, yeah, Reynolds has a better short and long kicking game. Obviously, better goal kicker because he's the only one who kicks out of them too.
And most importantly, Reynolds doesn't drop a ball during the grand final. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't bring that up. But imagine he comes back to Broncos and we make it to the grand final, goes to Golden Point, and it happens again.
No,
I'll
bro.
cry. I'll cry.
I'll generally question my life after that. Like, that's just too much for me.
But yeah, so that's the Ben Hunt talk. We were all waiting to do that. Now, boys, the last but not least, Origin Game 2. This is sort of our preview. We're just going to add it onto here and finish it off. Thoughts on Game 2? So Queensland Maroons are up 1-0 in the State of Origin series. Gutsy win Game 1. Game 2 at Suncorp Stadium. Maroons always bring it at Suncorp. Team lists have been announced. No Cleary. So Mitchell Moses will be playing in the 7. And also Latrell Mitchell's been ruled out. So Stephen Crichton comes back into the side. Boys, tips, margins, anytime try scorers, and just any other thoughts that you might have on the game. Davis will start off.
Yeah, look, I've got Queensland winning this 1-12. Anytime try score, I've got Reece Walsh. He knows Suncorp very well, and he was fantastic in Game 1. I'm very happy for the 3 inclusions that we got. And we got Moe Fodawaker, Xavier Coates, and who's the other one?
No.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see them back.
Sorry, Nano.
Nano, yeah. I'm very happy to see them back. I think they're very good inclusions. Yeah, I'm absolutely pumped for Origin. If we win that game, I'll be so happy.
Absolutely. Now, so you got Maroons 1-12. Have you got? Just give us an anytime try scorer from each team while you're there.
I got Reece Walsh for the Maroons, and I got
for his home crowd.
Brian Toto for the Blues.
Absolutely. Faraz, what about you? Tip margin anytime try scorer for the game.
Yeah, this is a big game for the Blues. If they lose this, I can see Freddie potentially being sacked. I think he will get sacked, but I'm gonna go Queensland 1-12. Anytime from the Blues, I'll go Smokey. I reckon Cook off the bench. I don't know if it's Smokey or not, but I think it depends on if he starts or not. I reckon Damien Cook for New South anytime. And from Queensland, I reckon Reece Walsh, aka the Pool Hera. I'll go him anytime in the game. And I'll go Queensland 1-12. I think the Blues will show up, but I can't see them winning at Suncorp in front of a packed crowd when it's 1-0 down.
Boys, I've got Queensland. It's about time we smash them in the game 2. They smash us in Game 2s, I swear, pretty much every year.
Last 3 years.
I'm going to go Queensland 13+. That's not so much how confident I am. That's just because I feel like we have not beaten the Blues 13+ in what's felt like years.
So this is a perfect game, to be honest.
Exactly, it is. We have them backs against the wall. They have some of their best players out. Queensland 13+. And anytime, I'm going to go Paddy Carrigan.
Oh, I have a feeling that those will score his first try before he gets it to club.
Paddy Carrigan, and for the Blues, I'm going to go Hudson Young redemption game.
Can I just say, I know the Blues fans don't like hearing this, but like at the same time, I think with the adversity they're facing, Cleary's out, Latrell's out. I know they'd rather than be there, but I feel like if they win, this is perfectly set up for them. I feel like having these players out. They have to go up to Suncorp. Blues haven't won their decider in how long. I feel like if they can do this without like Cleary, Latrell, with pressure all around them at Suncorp, if they can win this back against the wall, being underdogs, I think it can create that legacy for them. I'm not saying, now they're like underdog tags and all this and all that, but blah, 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 blah. I feel like if they can win this game, with considering how like we normally go with underdog tag, I generally feel like this is a big game for the Blues. And if they can win this, I think this makes it up better because they have that adversity and all that. And then obviously they'll think about game 3, but you can't think too ahead. But I don't think anyone's really expecting the Blues to like win this game. So Moses got a lot of shit from his own fans. So if they win this, like I'm just saying, it's going to be a huge legacy for them if they go on to win the series, of course.
Definitely. Absolutely. If Blues win this, they're a big chance of winning the series. They deserve to be favourites in game 3.
100%.
if they win this.
Because isn't Game 3 in Sydney?
Yeah, it's at a Core Stadium.
Yeah.
I'll be at that.
Which, to be fair, we don't do too bad at a Core Stadium.
Yeah, we
True,
won
but I
last
think
year,
they'll deserve the favorite tags at least.
Yeah.
if they
So,
won.
I think if Blues win this, it is like, but yeah, I agree with you, Faraz. It is set up. It's set up perfectly for the Blues to sort of create history. But they won't. Queensland, baby. Yeah, I mean, hopefully not. But lads, before obviously we'll end off pretty soon. But anyway, do either of you have any more to say on the Origin topic, or is that all you find talking about?
Do you guys sort of have any idea who you're tipping this week? You know, like you're looking at the games this week. Obviously, it all talks about Origin and all that, but is there any game this week you're looking at and you're looking at routes that you want to watch 100%?
That's a Faraz special. Any game you're looking at that's making you aroused.
Let's have a guess.
I'm looking forward to Rabbitohs versus Cowboys.
I'm looking forward to Roosters Raiders.
Oh, Roosters Raiders should be good. Usually, I love Roosters Raiders pretty much any time they play. It's always good. Yeah. Especially considering Roosters on the back of a win.
And obviously the Raiders fans still crying about 6 again. No, I'm joking.
I've got a question for you, lads. Do you agree with the inclusions of Fodawaker, Nanai, and Xavier?
100%. I know people have shat on Nano, but I feel like there's no other job for the guy at the moment. He's done it before. I probably would pick Capel, but can't really complain with Nano. He's probably earned it the last few weeks, but pressure's on him now, and I know he'll do good for us.
I don't agree with Coates at all. I would have gone Gagai or Sami. I'm sorry, David.
I see your point. But if you think about it, you've got a.
To be fair though, Coates has actually done well in Origin level. Like I'm not saying he's done too well, but he's actually done the job before, so I'm not too worried about him at Suncorp.
The one thing I am really excited about with Coates though is Xavier Coates and Reece Walsh are actually best mates.
Yeah, close. My brother told me that.
Off field, so I can see them developing a great Origin connection.
I'm pretty confident with the centers because I think Hammer's got. I mean, look at it. Every time Hammer's played Turbo in an Origin, Hammer has worn Turbo like a glove.
Exactly.
I haven't seen Turbo do one good thing against Hammer. Like Hammer's shut him down.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Turbo, just get good, I guess. Hammer's better than you.
Turbo, don't get me wrong, Turbo is a gun, but he is so overrated. He is so
in Origin, yes. I mean, that one series, 2021, who on the blue squad wasn't good, though? Tell me.
And look at that Queensland team that year. Like, there's only, I think, a few players that make the team now in that 2021.
And we're not, and, people think we're taking credit away. We're not. That year, New South Wales won French squad, but the point we're making out is that we always get underdog tags because of that tag, because it's like, oh shit, let's try and Turbo back, you know? You think 2021, but this is such a more balanced side. Even when we lost in 2018-19, did we lose 56? No.
I want to talk about, in 2021 though, I love how no one talks about this. I get that Cleary was out game 3, but you guys had Latrell and Turbo in game 3 against, a really weak Queensland team. All we got back was pretty much Ponga and a couple other players, and we won.
Let's not forget, people still shit on Cleary for Origin, so
yeah, exactly.
Blues fans do it themselves.
Blues fans always shit on their halfback, no matter who it is.
You know,
you could put literally prime Andrew Johns in there, they're probably shitting him.
Exactly.
You know what's so funny, boys? You look at the comments, Blues fans are like, oh no, oh this parent combination, blah blah. Oh, how many times are we gonna pick parent combination? Then they say, oh, let's drop Teddy for Dylan Edwards. The hypocrite.
Yeah.
The hypocritically and the New South Wales Blues fans. Oh, we don't want parent combination. Oh, let's pick Edwards.
Yeah, and then one of the reasons, whenever they say let's pick Edwards, one of the main reasons is oh yeah, he's got so many run meters, blah 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 blah. Oh, and he's got a good combination with Cleary and Lua. If you're gonna say that, you can't fucking say pick him for the.
I'll be honest, as a Queensland fan, even though Teddy played shit and we can all give him shit, if they dropped them, I would have laughed my ass off. That would have definitely made it better for us.
To be honest, if I was Look, Moses is an absolute gun. Don't get me wrong, but if I was the Blues selectors, I would have 100% picked Walker and Reynolds without a doubt.
Definitely. I mean,
Wasn't Walker
they've
injured
been
though?
he was. He sort of was. I think that may have been what cost Reynolds in the end. I feel bad for Reno. He's playing great footy.
Like, don't get me wrong, Luai's a good player. But let's be real. If it wasn't for Cleary, he probably like the Penrith connection is the only reason he's in the team because you cannot tell me that individually that Jerome Luai is better than Cody Walker.
No.
To be fair, though,
If you say combination wise, I'd 100% say Cleary and Luai, but you cannot tell me individually that Cody Walker is worse than Jerome Luai.
No,
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that, but I feel like Luai was one of the better players in game one. To be fair,
No, he was
like,
better than Cleary for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that was because of how much he'd been, how much it had been talked up that he shouldn't be there. I think he really did take it to heart and played his best game. And I think last game one in Origin, I think that was probably the best game he'd actually played in Origin so far in his career. Maybe one of the other games in 2021 was better, but I don't know. I just feel like he did play really well in that game. He was probably, I think he was New South Wales' best player. I don't really think anyone else came close to being better than him. Maybe Payne Haas was pretty good, but
and Lowe's, there's one thing I also want to touch up with New South Wales. I understand that he doesn't really stand up in the big moments, and you probably know exactly who I'm thinking of. But do you think Nico Hines is unfairly scapegoated for New South Wales issues in game one? Because I think he was unfairly
the thing is, and you boys know. See, the thing is, you boys know how I feel about Hines. I love him as a player, but I didn't feel the job. But as in terms of scapegoat, I think you're right, Dave. Was like they picked him game one. Like if you picked him game one, how do you leave him out of the squad completely? Like Cleary's now been out injured. Like surely from Philly, because you picked him, not us. You picked him in game one off the bench. Like that didn't even make sense to me. You only played him 11 minutes. It's like, oh, we'll bring on Hines for 11 minutes, play him out of position, miss that one tackle. And yes, he had to make the tackle, no doubt, but you put him on for 11 minutes. How do you manage a player like that? He's a halfback and you put him on for 11 minutes. It's like, oh, he missed one tackle. Let's drop him. Come on, Phil. Use your brain, bro. Like, I'm not saying Hines is the best man for the job game to, but what I'm saying is that Phil picked him, played him for 11 minutes, made him play out of position, and now he's completely dropped him. What was the point of picking him in game one? Might as well not pick him at all.
That's exactly my thoughts. How do you pick one of the best players in the game currently?
I'll be back, boys.
On the bench, a position he's playing off the bench for the Storm, but he can't, like when he was playing off the bench for the Storm, Bellamy actually had a plan for him when that was happening. So how do you pick him on the bench, train him to play 9 most of the week, then have him go into center, a spot he's never played at NRL level, to fill in for one of the better centers, Turbo, when he's at center in the game, against someone like Hammer, who will completely burn for speed, and Munster on that side.
And for Fido as well.
Exactly. What they were better off doing was probably putting Hudson Young out in the centres. Hudson Young was there. Play him out in the centres, take off Coruscant, put Hines at hooker. They would have had a much better chance. And he was very unfairly treated for... I get it. Yes, like Faraz said, he had to make the tackle, and it was a shit attempt at tackle. But at the same time, how can you blame him? He's not a centre. Of course, he doesn't know how to defend in that position because he hasn't played there before. Like,
if
at least
Hudson Young would know. I'd be blaming the outside backs. I'm not blaming, and the forwards. It's not Nico Hines. It's a whole team. You can't just blame it on one player who came on for like 11 minutes. And
yeah, it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. You can't blame Nico Hines for that.
Robson starting? Is Robson starting? Was he on the bench?
He's listed on the bench, but there's been talk that it's going to be switched last second and Robson's going to come in.
I have a feeling that New South Wales will try play a few tricks on us, I reckon. I have a feeling that they'll try change their bench up.
Yeah, I think. Well, looking at the team now, on their benches, they have Cam Murray, Liam Martin. I think Liam Martin will come in for Hudson Young late. I feel like Robson's going to come in for Cook late. And then I think that's it. But they might actually swap out Junior Barlow and Stefano. That could be late switch.
Do you lads reckon Queensland will make any changes before the game or nah?
Well, Flegler and Flegel's been listed on the bench now, which he was originally meant to start and he was added to the bench. If they do, I don't agree with us not starting Ruben Cotter.
I would personally start Ruben Cotter over Lindsay Collins.
Yeah,
Or
Collins had a great game last game.
Or I would start Moaki Fodawaker over
Would you start
Collins.
Flegler and put Fodawaker off the bench?
Now,
Nah,
Fodawaker's already on the bench.
Yeah, the starters are Tino and Lindsay Collins.
I only have one issue though. Like we don't have a backup back row if you. I know. Like, would you?
Well, Cotter did the job game one.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's the plan.
It's just a bit. I just don't know how like our bench rotation is going to go because like Carrigan's going to play close to full 80. Like I know we'll obviously swap out 2 props, but then who's the odd one out though?
Yeah, very true.
Maybe Cotter moves to the back row once maybe Fodawaker or something comes on. Because I think Billy said that Nanai and Fafita will probably play the full 80. So
Fafita did a great job game one, by the way. And I just want to say, Lockie, you're so dumb. That was a terrible take from you saying Fafita will be dropped after game one.
Fafita was great.
He was really good.
And see, look,
I think,
and this is what Origin's about. He doesn't need to have like the 3 tries every game and all that. He did his job. He made his tackles. He ran his hard meters. He did the job without overplaying. That's what Origin is.
Well, David Fafita, you look at his stats. He only played like 80 minutes because he had to come off for a HIA. But yeah, 113 run meters, 39 post contact, 5 tackle breaks, and a offload. 29 tackles, only 2 missed.
Wait, wasn't Lockie bagging him? I'm
yeah,
pretty sure.
talking him.
That's a shocker.
I wanted Fafita to play Origin no matter what. Like
Noah, it's not the first time Lockie's had a shocker on the party.
I remember the time. I think it was week 1 Sharks versus Cowboys, and he was like, Cowboys fans will be crying Sharks 13+.
I wouldn't mind playing David Fafita from the bench, to be honest. But I don't know.
I wouldn't mind it.
Would you move Potter to back row then?
I wouldn't move him to start back row. I think David Fafita did a good enough job. If Capewell was there, I probably would start Capewell Fafita off the bench for impact. But I respect Billy's decision not going with Capewell. I think it's the wrong decision, but I respect it. Capewell's just built for Origin for me.
I'm so happy for Moaki Fodawaker. He's worked so hard.
In 2021, he was our best player. I'm not sure how he didn't even get a call up 2022. He didn't even get thought about
off the bench, especially in a shit Queensland side.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, lads, do you have anything else, or do we reckon we're just about ready to wrap up?
I reckon we're done.
I reckon we are too.
Just also quickly, like predictions for today's day's play for the Ashes. Starting 40 minutes.
England to get bowled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. England will get rolled.
I've got Boland taking 4.
Boland taking 4. I like it. Give me Nathan Lyon 5 for.
I'm gonna go in a different direction. I'm gonna go Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins 5 for.
Boys, news from the Broncos. I've only just seen it was 4 hours ago, but I've only just seen it now. McDermott appointed football manager for the Broncos, Joe McDermott.
Yeah, I did see that actually. That's a good appointment.
I've never heard of Joe. So is he from the UK or something?
He's worked
with Queenslanders before.
But I mean, we needed a new football manager because of Ben Ikin. But anyway, lads, thanks so much.
How can we forget Alex Toyle? Congratulations!
Oh,
has finally come. How could we?
Oh my goodness!
I don't even give a crap. It was against my team. I'm just bloody happy for the bloke. Like
I was so happy. Did you even see the ref crack a smile when he scored?
Bro, I swear the ref was smiling after he pointed the whistle. I could see it.
He was so. I think to celebrate the moment, we might actually watch the 12 try to end off today.
Wait, boys, before we put the replay on a serious note, like some people have been saying that was knocked on by Nathan forward. What do you think about that? In all seriousness, do you think it was a fair try? Or
Clement did not even touch it.
No, Nathan, like he was contesting for the ball. Then
Nathan didn't even touch it either.
That's just what people are saying. I'm not saying.
Twile is the GOAT. Twile is the GOAT.
Okay, lads.
Strap yourselves in.
Thanks so much to everyone for watching. It's been a great stream. And to end off, take a look at this masterpiece.
Right on the goal line. Kicking out Norfolluma's way. Here comes Dayden. Scramble. Tigers. Goal. Trial has ended up with a ball. Oh, no. Unbelievable.
Look at that ref.
Best Blokes has got a 4-pointer, James.
Absolutely incredible.
But no cigar so far this season. Andrew, now in his 116th NRL game, Alex Twal.
Absolutely incredible. Congratulations, Alex Twal.
Imagine Clemmer pouncing that ball, though.
Oh.
Oh, no.
But as I was saying before, thanks so much, everyone, for joining in and watching. This has been our first ever TFS Takeover. Lockie will be joining us back pretty soon. But for now, it's been a great stream, lads. Enjoyed it, definitely. And go the Maroons for Origin in 2 days' time. And go the Aussies for the Ashes.
Bloody oath.